Hi guys, it's David Jeffrey here, and for my art piece today I'm going to be doing a video on perspective. Perspective is used a lot in art. I'm going to start by drawing a point on the horizon and drawing two lines, basically a triangle heading towards that central point. As you can see, this point is going to have many different perspective lines being drawn towards it, just so that I can get an idea of the distance. And you've got to think of this as that line in the back is the horizon. Now there can be many other points as well, and I'm just drawing this to show you this demonstration of how you don't just have to have one point on the horizon for perspective. You can have many different points. Now I'm planning to first draw a road, so I'm just going to draw a road. It's the easiest way of showing perspective. So these are going to be the white lines for the road. And you might notice that as they go further into the distance, the gap becomes less and less and less, because of course when you see a road in the distance, this is what it is. And because we're going to a central point, it kind of merges into one line at the end. So now I'm going to go for a pavement of some sort. So bear with me while I just draw the lines for that. Okay. So that's the edge of the road and a pavement. So I'm also now drawing a lamppost, and the lampposts are large at the front. But of course, as they get into the distance, they're going to become smaller, and I'm going to do a number of lampposts showing the way, and I'll do one on each side of the road, and I'm trying to make it as even as possible and measuring it out. So this is the best way of making it. It's not a realistic picture because of course no road would be that straight and lampposts wouldn't be that perfectly lined up to each other, but it is purely just to show you how perspective works. I'm just going to draw the lamp there. Just work out the distance of the lamp and how many millimeters it is across. And at the moment it's going to be an exact science, but as it goes into the distance, it's probably not going to be so exact. So that's how I want to do it, and now the plan is to do them further into the distance. And I have to work out, you know, the distance between the white lines, and I think, well, every 3 lines I will do another lamppost. There you go. So as it gets further apart, obviously they'll be closer to each other to the distance. And now I'm just going to draw a line between the tops, just straight to the central point, so I can get the right height of each of the lampposts as I go along, because of course they've also got to remain in perspective. Now they're not quite lined up correctly to each other, and this is because the lines I drew in perspective for the road initially, the width of the road, and I didn't measure it out perfectly in every single way, and so because of that these lines don't quite fit in line with each other. But I'm trying to get it looking realistic because of that. So again, just drawing the base of the post, making sure that it matches perfectly with the horizon. And this works if you're drawing like buildings and such. In your head you're always thinking of the horizon lines and perspective lines. In nearly every piece of work of art I do, I always trying to think of what's the perspective here and what's the lighting here. And I'm trying to draw as many tiny lampposts as I can as it goes into the distance. So as you can see, you can clearly see a perspective of lamppost. Now I'm going to now draw the outside of the pavement. at the edge of the lamppost. And I'm going to draw a building. So I'm going to draw a roof for the building. There we go. In fact, that's the wall, and there's a door. There we go. And now's the roof. And always heading it out into that central line at the end there. So that's going to be for the windows. Just making sure the windows work, and I'm obviously going to use the same theory for all the houses all the way along. So now I'm thinking actual roof and getting the angles right for the roof. And I'm gonna probably at this point think I need to create another horizon, otherwise it's not gonna work. So let's see how that works. I'll draw a little chimney here, I think. There's the horizon point. So I want everything, every chimney on this house gonna head into that particular horizon point. There we go. So get onto the second house. Put in the window. And the door. I mean, it's not a realistic looking houses. It's purely there just to show you a demonstration of how perspective works. See there, I draw the roof going into that perspective line that I the roof goes into that perspective point in the distance there, and now I get to draw the chimney based on the other point of perspective. Small though it is, it still fits in with how I've drawn all my perspectives. And guys, this is an easy thing you can do. Try it at home on your own little pad of paper. It's always good practice to experiment with perspective lines and practice doing perspective, because it really helps you with your art later on. Do the outside of the house there. I'm just going to do this on this side because it was just really an example for you of what it's about, but as you can see, looking at it, you've got your perspective in place and you've got a row of houses. So there it is.